Okay, we're going to start by talking about the English for specific academic purposes. Now, this series assumes that students have already completed a more general introduction to academic English, and they are ready to continue working on what is needed for their future courses, their future success. But they still need more focus and on the skills and language needed and within the context and the topics that they're going to meet in their future studies. So these specific these specific academic purpose books are designed for people who have already achieved an upper intermediate to advanced level, but they have an eye to going into a graduate or an undergraduate program, but want more preparation before they get there, but within a specific context. So the task types and the vocabulary, that type of stuff, they will already have gotten a nice grounding on through using these books. Now, just to be clear, these aren't ESP books. They're not designed really for students who are already professionals in their field but have come to the college or the university and are looking to kind of anglicize their language or their skills so that they can step into the workforce. The reason being is that these resources help students deal with an academic situation. Now, ESP course material deals with language and skills where the person, what is with the phone? Where the person, sorry about the phone, I'm not sure what, it doesn't even normally ring that way. I don't know what's going on. Sorry, ESP is the language and the skills focused on those on ESP in ESP books enable people to step straight into a business environment, for example. These books help students get into undergraduate or graduate programs. So there's a very strong focus on academic readiness. So that's what makes them different from the ESP. They were all clearly written with the understanding that, firstly, many instructors of faculty-specific content are not content experts. Their expertise is in the teaching of English academic language and skills, and these books support and guide the non-content specialist teacher. Secondly, it was also understood that many instructors teach more than one class or more than one course at a time or within one session. As such, all the books are written in exactly the same format and teach exactly the same underlying skills and language points, but each within its own specific context. I'll explain that a little bit further by highlighting these things. So this is half of the book map from Management Studies. So you can see here that the units deal with the topics and the contexts that are common to a management studies course. So therefore it makes it unique to management studies. This type of content obviously wouldn't be appropriate for the banking book, for example. Okay, so we can see here there's things like risk analysis, human resources management, information systems, that type of stuff. So anything on this side of the book map is going to be specific to that particular book. This is not shared. However, what is shared, if we look at the other side of the book map, and this is just part of it, it's not all units, is the vocabulary and the skills focus. These are the same for every book. Okay, so ones to mention. Okay, so here I'm just focusing on the skills. You can see, actually let me get my little pointer. I have a little highlighter here. Okay, so in every unit is either listening and speaking or reading and writing. So every unit has one productive, one receptive skill. But every unit also has a focus on vocabulary. Okay? Now, there's an awful lot of information on these pages, but you can see that from the ones that I've kind of pulled out, that everything is very much geared towards task completion. But the tasks are very, very much focused on what is expected of students in an undergraduate or graduate program. at college or university level. Okay, now one of the other things, where have we got reading here, for example? Okay, so here, locating key information, avoiding plagiarism, that type of stuff. Another main focus is recognizing writer's stance, understanding how ideas are linked, using research questions to focus on relevant information. So you can see by this example that the skills looked at here, the skills that they're really working on, are very much preparation for lectures, preparation for researching, preparation for dealing, for example, with different types of writing tasks, essays, preparation for dealing with navigating tutorials, collegial tasks where they have to negotiate with their colleagues or exchange information, referring to other people's ideas in a seminar, for example, being able to build an argument. So there really is a very, very focused effort to dive into what students need to be successful in an academic context. So I think this makes it even clearer how this is different from an ESP book. Okay. Now, however, one thing based on, because this is considered the table of contents of the syllabus, what's missing here that you would normally see in a book?
Ken's not allowed to answer.
Yeah, Ken, you can't answer. Any ideas? Okay, we are...
Come on,
Well,
guys.
maybe Ken's allowed.
Okay, well, we've got an absence.
Andy was here.
What's that?
If Andy was here, he'd get it.
Ah, yes. See, muted. He can't. He's probably shouting into the microphone right now. Oh, he's just typed, "I'm here." Okay, so the answer is yay. Grammar. All right. Now, traditionally, ESL classes, and this idea will continue into many EAP classes, and the materials that a lot of academic students work with, they teach students to cope with the complexity of the verb phrase. However, research into academic language, including a lot of corpus research that's been done, for example, that which underlines the Longman grammar of spoken and written English, suggests that complexity in academic language does not lie in the verb tense or the verb phrase. So a lot of focus on grammatical structures is really not very valuable at the academic level. The main tense that is used in a lot of the text and information that students are trying to deal with and analyze is actually the present simple. So the complexity lies, in this context, lies in noun phrases, and it's much more vocabulary oriented. So noun phrases, clause joining, clause embedding, that type of stuff. So that's why there is no specific focus on grammar as separate from the other systems. And instead, there's a very, very clear focus in many examples and many exercises running through these books on how to break down long sentences into kernel elements, find the subject, find the verb, and unpack sentences for the complexity of, to understand the complexity of meaning, but based in the noun phrases and noun clauses. Now, then this skill is turned into a productive skill by encouraging students to think in terms of kernel elements before building into complex sentences, which is very different from a lot of other perhaps older books that aren't taking into consideration more recent research into what students are actually faced with. They're exposed to trying to think in terms of complicated grammatical systems or verb tenses, whereas in this more current book, that has been taken away. The complexity and the thinking is about noun phrases, embedding, and joining. So that's why there's no clear focus on grammar here, which actually hopefully makes sense after what I just said. Okay.